Fred, thanks for joining me today for Espresso 4.0. Thanks for bringing your coffee. I will be having my tea today because I'm going through a green tea phase, but it does the job, does the same job, or so they say. Okay. So I've been meaning to ask you something, and let's start with something pretty easy, okay? Buzzwords going around in Industry 4.0, which in and of itself is a buzzword as well. In particular, we hear a lot about IT and OT. So let's lay the groundwork. What does that mean? What do those terms entail? What is IT and what is OT, and what are their jobs within a manufacturing factory?
Well, OT is operational technology. IT is information technology. So IT is the usual computers that you use every day, laptop and so on. And the OT is more the PLCs that are used in an industrial context. So they can exchange data, and usually they use different protocols than the IT ones. So by default, they don't talk the same things.
Okay. Today, during Industry 4.0, when we are working on connecting all of our assets, exporting data, making sense out of that data, there seems to be a lot of places where it's necessary that the IT and OT collaborate and speak together. And now you just said that they speak a different language, so to speak. Can you enlighten us on why they need to collaborate and what you find to be the case currently on the market between those two departments, let's say?
It's interesting to have the data that the OT collects that can be used, sensors data, for instance, commands that they exchange to each other. This kind of stuff could be used in the IT side because you can have a display of what the data represents, for instance. You can also send commands to interact with the devices and so on. And so the idea usually is to put a device in between the two networks that would translate from one to the other. Usually an edge, for instance, edge device or VM, something like that.
You mentioned edge. What place does cloud hold in that architecture, if any? And yeah, can you enlighten us a little bit on that? Some of the people that we talked to, some of the factories we talked to, are a little bit reluctant to use cloud. Do you know why that is? And can you speak a little bit on to that to encourage us one way or the other?
Well, the advantage of the cloud is that you can have infinite resources for data storage, for instance, computation. On the other side, you have people usually they like to have their own data close to them because they don't want anyone else to be able to access them. So usually the security is a big of a culprit of an issue that they don't want to face. On the other hand, the fact that they have infinite computation in the cloud allows them to do much more things. For instance, on the AI stuff, they can process stuff that they would not be able to do it locally. So, and also if they want to share the data with other people inside the same company, it's easier when you have something in the cloud they can share.
Okay. Now, with different types of tech and softwares coming out, and I'm particularly talking about the tech relating to data consumption coming from the assets and machines that one has in production processes. It seems to be increasingly important to have some cross, how should I call it? Cross-disciplinary knowledge in both IT and OT. We're equipping a lot of the OT, particularly a lot of the OT, let's call them process engineers, for instance, and so on, production managers, with software solutions that help them track, monitor conditions, detect anomalies. We're working towards predictive maintenance kind of models. How important do you find it that there is this interdisciplinary moment, or do you think that the two should always at all times be separated?
Better when they collaborate. No?
Fair enough, fair enough. But is it important to have a profile that is, how should I put this, that is equipped with knowledge in both? Maybe not equally, but a process engineer with some coding knowledge and understanding of IT, or an IT person with an understanding of how the machines work?
And it's usually two different people. So
Okay.
exceptions exist, but usually they are focused on one or the other. So
And do you see that changing in the market or not?
it could be.
Okay, fair enough. The where I was going with this is because it seems that workforce is going to need a little bit of upskilling going forward, and particularly OT towards more of an IT kind of sector. And just wanted to kind of shine a light a little bit on that.
Well, the merge of these two models, the worlds, can merge to have something much more efficient than if you keep them separated. So,
Okay.
with the AI, which is typically in the IT world, you can do things in the OT world that you would never thought of before. So,
okay. So in conclusion, what we're looking at is not an emergence of these superhumans that know both IT and OT, but what we're probably looking to work towards is a culture of transparency and communication and collaboration, so far unseen, between the two departments.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Fred. Thank you
you're welcome.
for taking time to have coffee with us, and see you next time.
Cheers.